so Premier League is back again after a very short break, I should say. We've got some tasty fixtures coming up. The first one we've got is Fulham against Arsenal. Who are we going for?
London derby. London. Wait, Arsenal's your boys, right?
No.
You Liverpool?
No, I'm a fan of football.
I'm a fan of football too.
Yeah,
but I've seen you rep Arsenal though.
You repped Arsenal before? I'm sure you have.
It feels like
I never repped Arsenal before.
I swear.
No,
was it?
You know what? I bought a kit actually when they had the God rest his soul, Jose Antonio Reyes was there.
Yeah. Okay.
Was it that blue one with the crest in the middle?
It was the red one that had the white on the back.
The crest in the middle, right?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
The night thick on the side.
That's what I was thinking. Yes, you've got some sort of something.
No, I never supported them. If anything, I'm more.
I was quick to reject them, you know.
Yeah, my brother. Obviously, when I was growing up, I was a Man United fan, and then the pressure got too much. I remember I saw John's dad, our cousin. And he was like, I was like, Uncle, what team do you support? He went, no, I don't support a team. That's, he says once and he's done. I was like, why? Yeah. So if they lose, I don't have to worry about it. And I was like, that's a really good idea. Because when Man United lost to Real Madrid and Redondo did that thing to it broke my heart. Like, I was like, I can't go to bed feeling like this no more. It feels like when a girl been done by a girl, only once by the way. So you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just thought, nah, let me let it go. But I feel like there's a secret allegiance to Man United. I even tried to just support like a team that didn't matter, like West Ham. So I was like, you're not a true fan, but trust me, I am.
But that's what I've done.
Man United results.
I've done the same, right? Because you ask him, I'll say Crystal Palace.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So that's why I felt so sad when you said like, till we don't rate like Crystal Palace. I was like, whoo. Whew. But I was like, okay, I'll take that because I'm just a fan of football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I used to work at Crystal Palace, so I do like them. The football security guard or whatever it was, man.
Oh yeah, okay. I did that. Funny if I did that for Arsenal.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did that for
Emirates
Arsenal.
or Highbury?
Yeah, Emirates.
Nice.
Back in the day, yeah.
Nice little experience there. All right, so yeah, newly promoted Fulham coming up obviously from the playoffs against obviously Arsenal. Pretty good form actually, winning the FA Cup, winning the Community Shield. So who are you going for tomorrow? 12:30 kickoff.
If I was gonna go and actually give a result, I'll say 3-1 Arsenal.
From Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to say Arsenal simply because I think that they have learned to deal with small teams a bit better now.
Okay.
So I don't think they're going to keep making the same mistakes. I actually, if they had just a bit of a bigger squad, I'd give them that chance. And actually, with Willian in that squad and some reinforcements in the defence, I'm comfortably going to say Arsenal. I'm going to say Arsenal comfortable. Tough game, but comfortable result.
Just touch on Willian. Were you guys surprised that Chelsea let him go so easily to Arsenal?
Yes and no. Arsenal, Chelsea probably don't see as a threat, but they should a little bit.
I think they should.
And yeah, just surprised. I thought he was either going to go to America or I'm surprised. I mean, he's got a lot left in him. I look at him as a 31-year-old or whatever. How old is he?
Yeah, 31.
He's still pretty young.
No, I think he's 33.
No, he's not 33. He's not
31. So he'll finish at 34. He's got good legs on him. Yeah, like running legs.
He still creates chances as well.
Yeah, creates chances. He's a brilliant player. He's been even when Hazard was in the team, I was like, everyone's looking at Hazard, but Willian's the man.
It's actually Willian, Oscar and Hazard. That was the front three.
Oscar's been gone for such a long time.
Oscar was a good player as well. He was definitely a Mourinho type player. But I back to the question at hand. Arsenal will win. Yeah, just their striker. They've got a good Aubameyang. Yeah, and they've got a good Lacazette as a plan B in his run of games, and then Ketia. Yeah, someone that I like.
You've got Martinelli as well.
And Martinelli, of course,
I mean, you did say that they have a small squad, but Arsenal actually do have 37 players in the first team.
Oh wow! But you know what? It's because they're not all experienced, or they're not at the world class level of a lot of the.
I mean, they don't have a world class, B team, B first team. You know what I mean? But they are overloaded with numbers at the minute.
Put it this way, I don't expect teams to go to Arsenal and just batter them like before.
No, they're very organised. They're very well organised now. So I think it will be very tough for any team to break down Arsenal. To be honest. Next game we've got is a very tasty one: Liverpool against newly promoted Leeds. I think that'll be a tactical, very intriguing to see how that plays out. Who are you guys going for?
I've gone for Liverpool. I've chosen them in my work, sort of. I think what they call it, not fantasy league, but it's like.
When you pull out a team like that,
and everyone puts a fiver in. So I've gone with Liverpool. So I want them to win. I want to win some money. But Leeds are dangerous. With Leeds, I found them a bit different. Like with Bielsa, he had them organised, but when I watched them this particular season, I was like, they're not as attractive or easy on the eye as I thought they were. I don't know if you watched them enough in the Championship.
I did watch them, but I think because of
with Patrick Bamford up front.
I think the issue there, well, I want to say the issue is it's more of a mentality switch, right? Mm-hmm. The season before that, playing beautiful football doesn't get you promoted, and I feel like in the Championship it's a doghouse. You know what I mean? And I feel like they had to play gritty football to grind out those results they needed to get into the Premier.
It's true, isn't it? I think in that playoff against Derby, pre-football, they got picked off in the counter-attack. Derby won, so you're right. I think by getting the team organised, that is a massive... I think sometimes the teams that get promoted are always very good defensively, until they come up, obviously.
And you know what? You're right. I mean, look at when they played in the FA Cup against Arsenal. I bet it was the second team, but for Arsenal, but they showed that they had the capacity to play football at that level. Yeah. So I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a draw, you know.
Don't forget there's Sandro Rodrigo from Valencia as well.
Very good player.
And he's
a good player. His record at Valencia. But I know he's good for Spain.
Is he an upgrade on Bamford though?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, you know what?
He is.
Context to that. Bamford has played in the Premier League. All right, not as much. Bamford has the physical aggression to deal with these defenders. I feel like Bamford would actually be a good second striker to bring on. Seriously, or just a good player to have on the bench because he can score goals. Bamford has actually always had the quality. He's a Chelsea product. Yeah. He's got the quality to score goals. He's not consistent. He hasn't got the pace, but he has got the technical ability to put a ball in the goal. Yeah. I'm not saying he's the best technical striker, but he definitely has one. So I would say that Rodrigo's a good addition. You never know, they could even play together.
You never know.
Yeah. How about you, Francis? Going for Liverpool?
I'm going to go for Liverpool. I feel like the winning mentality is there. They're going to be hungry to want to retain. You know what I mean? Because they always say doing it again. You know what I'm saying? It's the hardest, right? So these guys are going to be up for it. They want to prove that, you know, what they did last season wasn't because everyone else was so bad and they were like, you know, just really good or whatever. They want to really stay consistent, put like their stamp down and say, yo,
I think that's their
Liverpool.
Consistency.
Yeah, and I think they'll do it. Just a fun fact on Bamford. You know them JCB lorries you see, that's his uncle.
No way.
Yeah, just a fun fact. Yeah,
I think I read about that. Did I read that? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's interesting.
So it's interesting. Big family business there.
Wow.
I think just to finish up on Liverpool, actually, I mean, are you guys expecting more signings? I know they've been linked with Thiago from Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I think they signed a left back
from Olympiacos.
Oh yes, yeah. You know what? Is their player from RB
Leipzig?
Murano, the Japanese, but no, he's not Japanese, is he?
Minimano.
Where's he from?
Japan.
Japanese. Yeah. He's going to come good because I saw it. I could see it this season that he's getting adjusted.
The pre-season, he
did well in the pre-season.
Minamino.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, this season's going to be weird because it just feels like nobody's had no rest. It's just been.
It's been a short break, hasn't it?
Short break, yeah. Liverpool will definitely be challenging. Yeah. I just feel like. Are they still as hungry? Are the front three tired now? And I mean, have other teams clocked them now?
As you mentioned, Minamino, he'll play. I think with Klopp, Japanese players, he loves them. Kagawa, Bayer, Dortmund was very good for him as well. Yeah. I think, as you mentioned, the front three, if they get Thiago as well, that's a different dynamic there. You can now change it around.
It's a dynamic I've not seen before because then again, he will keep Thiago could be his Kagawa, obviously in a different.
Where did Thiago go? Because
Ronaldo might leave to Barcelona apparently.
No, but then that's still it doesn't because Thiago is a DM.
Thiago is the free, doesn't he? In the midfield.
Yeah, but he's the DM in the free.
Is he the DM?
He's the DM.
I thought he's more advanced.
So who's the DM in this one, Fabinho?
He's the guy who gets the ball and spreads the ball. He's not the guy.
I thought that was Kimmich. I thought Kimmich moved to right back now.
Yeah, right back. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Amazing.
But he's a great player.
That seems amazing, you know.
Yeah, it's a joke.
But yeah, we've got Crystal Palace, everyone's favourite club, against Southampton. Who's
go for Southampton.
Crystal Palace.
I go for Southampton.
1-1.
The reason I say that is because Crystal Palace wants some bad form coming to the end. Yeah, we don't know how they're going to turn up in this one. I mean, they've signed Batshuayi, and I feel that guy's a good player. I just feel like he's not been given a fair crack.
He was there, wasn't he? There like a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, he was.
Season before last.
But he was also at Dortmund, and he was doing his thing at Dortmund.
Scoring goals.
He's coming to Chelsea, and he always scores. He was always doing. And I just thought, what's he not doing? So
why, if he's done well at Dortmund, why have they kept Abraham? Obviously, they signed Timo Werner, but
Abraham's a good player.
So is Batshuayi, is he better than him? Or?
I think Batshuayi is better than Abraham. I just felt like Lampard has a bias to English players.
I don't think so.
No, I think that's
he played Giroud. They did play Giroud.
The best. No. See, Giroud should have always have been playing. Giroud is before Werner has come, he is the most clinical striker at the club. And I felt like if Chelsea had went with Giroud over Abraham, Chelsea wouldn't have had the whole conundrum of finishing in the top 4, because Abraham needs at least 3 or 4 opportunities to score 1 goal. Giroud's conversion rate for opportunities is a lot less. You know what I mean? So I felt like
Giroud's a brilliant plan.
He's a World Cup striker. He's a World Cup winner as well.
This is what I'm saying. You
He
don't
didn't
play.
score, he was so effective.
Very effective, and his link-up play. Hazard said playing with Giroud was one of the best experiences because he knew that when he found him, Giroud would definitely find him again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
the ball sticks to Giroud like, dude, he's a tough Frenchman.
He's amazing.
Tough striker, man. Like, honestly, he deserves all the accolades, Giroud, because even for Arsenal, when he was leading them and they were cussing him out, this guy was still scoring.
He's not appreciated, is he? He's not appreciated.
He'll be appreciated when he finishes. They won't give him his flowers now. Yeah. And I feel like they are, to some degree. Obviously not what they should be, but then again, he's not exactly the top striker, so...
It's just harsh because you look at his record and you think, well, this is a guy who gets double digits coming off the bench all the time.
But even look at his starting record. When he starts matches, he scores goals.
He still scores goals. His heading ability, his first touch.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like...
If he had the pace, he'd be a problem.
He would.
He'd be a problem.
Boy, unfortunately, the big lads like that don't always carry the pace.
Don't, man.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? We could talk about next week probably about Haaland.
That's a big lad with pace.
That's a big lad with pace. He's not super quick, but he's quick.
He's quick enough.
Yeah.
How about Southampton? I mean, they had a really good season. I mean, obviously they had the 9-0 against Leicester, which was probably the lowest point in the season. But that was also...
They lost the striker. They lost the player.
Yeah.
And I guess he could have organised it better, but then they got...
But losing 9-0 at home, though, I mean, that's pretty...
But they were 1 man down and Leicester were having the pace and just taking them by.
I mean, okay, if you're 9-0, if you've got 10 men, I think organisation, I mean, come on, at home as well, you can't concede 9 goals.
Just be hard to beat.
Get everyone behind the halfway line and just defend, if that's what you need to do.
Not going to lie, it wasn't my team, so...
Another, I think, interesting game. I think, West Ham, Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think 2 teams who last season kind of struggled, I think.
Who's at home?
I thought Newcastle had a run of games and then they were up and down. These are 2 teams I expect to still be in the Premier League the season after. West Ham have a team on paper that should be challenging at least for European League places.
They should be.
Every year.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, well, they got Yarmolenko, they got
Lanzini as well.
But they're luxury players that don't always turn up.
That's the problem. Very inconsistent.
That's what I said on paper. On paper, you're like, this is a good enough team. Like, you've seen these players play, so you're like, imagine if these guys were consistent. They should be challenging in the top 10.
Why is it? I mean, they also moved into the Olympic Stadium in 2016 and had a Bilic and then they had Moyes afterwards. But why have they not been able to really kick on them? Because I had Wilshere as well at one point. He came to West Ham.
Wilshere is still there. They're trying to get rid of him right now.
Yeah, trying to fix his contract.
I think, the truth is that West Ham have kept players like Noble, who I actually thought was a really good player at some point. Not in the last couple of years, but way before that, even around Tevez time. Really good technical player, Noble is, and he's never even missed a penalty. I think he's like in the top 3 for best penalty takers, someone was telling me. But I feel like players like Noble, and even, I was going to say, what's the guy that's got the braids now?
Oh,
Antonio.
Antonio.
I was going to say, when they had Antonio as like a right back, right winger, he was a player that they shouldn't be relying on. But when they got them type of players in the team, I don't know. I just feel like West Ham need to get better players, upgrades on them. With their drive and their work ethic, but upgrades on them to take them further, and also have a manager. I tell you what, sorry, I'm going to switch actually my opinion here. Yeah. When David Moyes was in charge the first time, and they had Arnautovic, they had a team dynamic that could take them quite away. And then they lost Arnautovic, Lanzini got injured, and they've kind of lost their flow.
You look at luxury players, they've had Felipe Anderson, who came from Lazio, who's really highly rated, and Yarmolenko as well, who came from...
He came from one of them Ukrainian teams.
Was it the
Dynamo Kiev?
Shakhtar Donetsk? Where was it?
Dynamo
Kiev.
Really highly rated over there as well. So they've had good players going forward, West Ham, but they've just not been able to really... Declan Rice as well, he's highly rated.
I don't see what Declan Rice does. Does anyone see what he does?
He picks up the ball, he passes it sideways.
That's it. And he does it very well. That's it.
That's what he does?
But to be fair, he does have one in
That's what Dyer does, if they rate Dyer highly. But Dyer can also play centre back.
and Declan can also play centre back.
Oh, you can?
But let's not forget, Declan is a Chelsea product as well. So, you've got like folks which were previously, which are at England, which were at the academy at Chelsea and so on and so forth. So they kind of seen him grow up and they know that there's something there.
Interesting, I wasn't aware.
Yeah,
he just kind of popped on the scene, and I did try to watch his game sometimes. Like, I don't see what the guy does. You know when you're watching it, you're like, I don't see what the guy does.
He's a very good reader of the game. I feel like he's good at anticipating situations.
Interesting.
I think for a defensive midfield player, he's got to be good at anticipating, so to cut balls out, etc. Cut passes out, etc.
He's very good at that. He cuts it out, gets the ball, simple pass.
So are we going for West Ham home win against Newcastle?
No, I'm going for Newcastle.
They could sign Callum Wilson as well.
I'm going for West Ham.
I'm
going for West Ham.
I think it might be a draw actually. I think the evenly match.
I think the morale around the club, they're not happy obviously with Brady going away to West Brom.
That was poor.
But they're trying to justify it. And you have to play like that, you get rid of the other players.
True. I think speaking of West Brom, they play at home against Leicester on Sunday. That should be interesting. I think
that's an interesting game.
West Brom are champion. I mean, I don't know. I think when they left the Premier League in 2018, they were pretty poor that season. But I think having to work their way back into the Premier League with Bilic, I think they did all right last season. I think after lockdown, they kind of struggled to kind of get the form a bit.
Yeah.
But prior to that, they were top for quite a while, weren't they?
Yeah.
So,
I'm going for Leicester though.
Leicester, yeah.
I'm going for Leicester.
Yeah, I haven't seen Leicester make any signings. I'm not entirely sure, but if Maddison is back, they've lost Chilwell. It's interesting.
I think Vardy had a good season last year.
Yeah, so. Vardy must. I mean,
Vardy
he's like 34. I don't know how he's 33.
His pace is still there.
Yeah, don't
He's
know
got
how
electric pace.
I think Vardy has surprised me because I thought he only had one way of striking the ball, but he's shown that he's a good header of the ball as well. And yeah, he's another player that if you play to his game, you will be dangerous. But if teams stop you from playing that way, then
this is where England would do with it. That's a very solid option for number 2.
100%.
Retired, yeah.
It is what it is.
Here's another really tasty game. Tottenham against Everton.
Wow, that's a
big game.
One, yeah.
They both
they have to both
Everton have made
for this game.
yeah, but Everton have made some really good signings.
Yeah. Who would go? Rodriguez, who else?
Decore from
Decore.
Was he good though?
He was good in some stages though.
Is bad.
Under Marco Silva, he was actually alright.
Okay.
No, trust me, box to box, Decore is bad.
But
you know what the difference is? Carlo Ancelotti is managing you, so we should see an improvement.
But
he will, and I feel like the thing is,
goalkeeper
Carlo
is a massive
Ancelotti is
position.
managing Everton. They should be happy.
Bruv, it's
Carlo.
the same way you was trying to laugh at Mourinho managing Tottenham. Look, these big managers now are coming to re-establish themselves with the other teams.
Yeah, they know what they have to
I'm saying.
because your time has moved on now, and obviously the team might have sacked you. He shouldn't have been sacked at Real Madrid, but he did. They sacked him anyway. And so he's now found himself at Everton. But what I'm saying is he'll be afforded a bit more time to build this team at Everton.
100%.
Because of his status and his reputation, and the fact that he's not going to have a team struggling in 17th.
Yeah, no.
He's come to Chelsea. He's won the league, so he's definitely going to be able to do something with Everton.
But I am taking Tottenham for the win. That I am.
Well,
Only because
I feel like Tottenham are starting to find their groove.
the team is more together. Everton are now gelling the team and building the team, and I feel like just because of that, they still need more time. Maybe when at the return fixture, things might be. I might change my mind there, and I might go with Everton for a win if the team has found their feet. But I feel like Tottenham, they found their feet. They haven't made so many radical changes to the core of the team, minus Eriksen leaving.
Talk about changes. They've signed Doherty from Wolves, and they've also signed I think Holberg from Southampton as well.
Yeah, Holberg as well has come in.
So is that enough for them to really challenge next season for?
Definitely not. Definitely not. No.
But you know what? You really just don't know that. I can't see this Tottenham team challenging Manchester City and Liverpool, but I wouldn't be surprised if they run their backs off for Mourinho, having now had a bit of time with them. You can't say he's not had enough time. I think he's had more than enough time now.
I think we look at Spurs.
What? He hasn't had a full season yet.
When did he come? January? I was going to say in October. I can't remember that.
He came in November, I think.
Yeah, it's coming. Listen, and he's had the lockdown time. What's actually a year, really? The football calendar's changed. So I'm just saying that he's had enough time to assess his squad and decide. I think that Mourinho probably knows that he's not going to get as much money as he thought he was going to get to sign players.
Yeah.
He's not going to be signing the 120 million player because this is Daniel Levy I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Levy,
yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, Mourinho's really going to have to use every ounce of
I think, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking, initially he didn't have another striker, I thought they might struggle. But if you look at his team, for example, in 2014-15 when he came back to Chelsea, he had essentially one team throughout the whole season, which is Costa, Oscar, Willian, Matic and Fabregas in midfield. And
that was such a poor season. That team won the league and there was no real challenge.
There was because everyone else was poor. Liverpool were poor, Man City were not good, Man United had Van Gaal.
But we say everyone is poor. We gotta just start giving teams.
But they were good team. They played good football. They played pretty good football.
They were just season, they played really well, and other teams played to the best of their abilities. Instead of saying that these guys are poor, these guys are poor.
Why doesn't Mourinho let the teams loose? Because they start off like when Man United came to Man United, they started off with like playing fast football, getting the ball out. Pogba and Ibrahimovic were connecting, and then suddenly it reverted to type. And it's like, why?
Sometimes it's like that period of time that United weren't. They were drawing a lot of matches that time.
They were
a lot of draws,
games,
and sometimes you've got to kind of go back to basics. When they start winning matches like 3-1, 2-0, etc. When you start drawing matches, you've got to look for now we're creating chances, but they're not being converted.
Yeah.
That's why. So they're still playing free-flowing football. Just weren't creating scoring goals.
His team got worse and worse.
Yeah.
When you have injuries,
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Well, what's the next fixture? Because now we're going off on a
down
the rabbit hole.
So the next one we've got is Sheffield United against Wolves.
That's a good game.
Ooh, that's a very good game.
Sheffield United, I think, in my opinion, surprised a lot of people last year.
Yeah.
They came in, played a certain way, same 11, and essentially did the same thing every game, but did it really well, to be honest. And I think Lundstrom, the fullback Baldock, the goalkeeper Dean Henderson as well, he's at United now, but had a really good 11 in that season. So I think
team, but I think Wolves for the win, and I feel like Sheffield United are just going to fall off.
Finish
going to fall off the map. I think there's always that one team that comes up from the Championship that does really well in the first season, and then the next season they just.
Yeah, I thought that was going to happen to Wolves, and Wolves actually went better.
Yeah.
Well, because Wolves had Champions League players playing in the Championship. You know what I mean?
Someone said FC Porto and Wolves, and they've got the binoculars trying to see what's the difference.
It's true though. It's true. If you look at the team's got quality players throughout. The goalkeeper,
Portuguese, it's crazy.
The centre backs. Looking at Traore, has done really well last year. Matinho, Neves in there. Even Jimenez up front. Jota as well.
Yeah, Jimenez is a really good striker. But you know what? I just feel like Wolves, as good as they are limited.
And they've signed Silva, mate. Ooh,
yeah,
Fabio Silva.
If he can improve this team further, like I already rate the manager, but he comes in the mold of a Diego Simeone. And I
think his team's a block. I think attacking a bit better attacking, in my opinion.
Oh, than
Simeone.
100%, because they got Neves. Neves was a bit quiet this season, don't you think?
You know what it is? It's because we got so used to seeing what he does, but he was still very effective.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't exactly
very
top of the team. It's just I realised I didn't really see him as much. But okay, but yeah, I go for Wolves for the win.
I agree.
And the last game we've got on the Monday is Brighton against Chelsea.
That's a sticky one, you know.
I think Chelsea probably.
This team reminds me of when Abramovich first came here. It's almost like he's taking it back and saying, you know what, I'm splashing the cash. And
no, but
they had Ranieri, like,
I think they had to.
No, we're saying that, right? But it was money that was already there and would have been spent if they weren't frozen out the window.
I think Chelsea had to spend anyway. Looking at their team last season and the holes they had, especially defence, they had to.
The point I'm making is that I'm actually excited to see what this Chelsea team does because I remember when they bought Duff, Robin,
Crespo as well.
Crespo. They had about 6 or 7 players. They even lined them up at the conference. And it was just like, so watching them was like watching the Harlem Globetrotters. So I feel like, they've got Ziyech, they've got Havertz, or whatever his name is, Werner. Thiago Silva. And it's like, you still got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's a brilliant player that needs more time to grow.
He's better as glass, though.
You never know. There's going to be one Chelsea player there that's going to, just like Lampard did, take the mantle and be a key player amongst the superstars. Lampard made himself a superstar when all these players came in 2003, 2004 and then became the guy. Let's not forget that. And I just feel like this could be the second coming of Chelsea. It could be Lampard that takes them and it's nearly he goes and then someone else comes in and just takes them further.
You know what, if it's one guy to take, I think he deserves it. I think as a player, what he did for Chelsea,
100%.
And if there's one character to really take them to that next level, he's probably, for me, the perfect.
I just want to know how he's going to go about managing those players because what does he do if he's front three? You got who's your best front three?
Pulisic, I'll say. Willian, I think, because it's Willian now, that gives a lot of room for Havertz and is it Zayek?
It's interesting.
Zayek, because I'm thinking it's going to be Zayek on the right, and Pulisic. Then you could Pulisic on that side, and you put one up front.
You could put Mason
But
Mount.
Then you could also.
We're not going to be number 9 though.
He can play on left as well. He played for Leipzig. He played on left.
He played a lot, because he's got a number 11 shirt, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I can see him being a very effective inside winger.
Like Rashford, kind of like what Rashford does.
Exactly.
So what then? Does he go with Abraham or does he go with Giroud?
He's got the luxury. And I think Abraham, look, at the end of the day, these players have been brought in. The other players are now going to step up. Who's going to respond is what we're going to see.
Yeah, that's the key.
But what do you do when you've got Mount, you've got Kante, you've got...
For me, that midfield three, Kante, Kovacic, Havertz. That's the midfield three.
And who are the other players? So Mount can play in the midfield or left anyway.
Mount,
they got Barkley as well.
They got Barkley.
Barkley's been poor. Yeah, I mean...
You look like a young kid, is it Gilmore?
Yeah. Where does Gilmore even play?
No, but he doesn't. He goes out on loan. You know what I mean?
That's what they did with the other guy that had the left foot. Josh
McEachran.
Where is he? Is he retired? Where is he?
No, he's at Middlesbrough. Yeah, he's at.
But you just wouldn't even recognise him.
I forgot about him.
It's funny when they go to the championship, they just convert it to like these.
They just become very average all of a sudden.
They even look at it. They just look. It's like, oh man, you didn't get paid £50 a week, huh?
It's nuts. It's nuts.
So yeah.
It's going to be a good Premier League season. I think the first weekend's going to be very exciting as well.
Well, before we end, why don't we state that who you think's going to win?
I think for me to win the Premier League, I feel Man City. For me, I think they're the team to beat. I think Liverpool obviously their last season, but I think Man City, that's just the squad they've got. Really, they can change it any time. Laporte's back fit again. They brought Ake as well. So there's a lot of depth there now for Man City. I think top four would be Man City, Liverpool. I think Chelsea will get in top four this year, and I think United will get there as well. That's just me being biased anyway, but I think United. I think if we can get in another right winger and to add to Van der Beek, and I think we've got a decent team now.
Who do you think will be relegated?
Relegated for me, I'm looking at Brighton. I think they've done well to kind of survive how they have. I think Fulham might go back down again. I think Fulham. I think they don't have a good record of staying in the Premier League in recent years.
Yeah.
They come in and then they kind of fall off and just have a terrible season. And who else? Probably have to say, I think Newcastle. They made some signs of kind of Wilson, but I still feel as if, he couldn't keep up Bournemouth last season, so it's not guaranteed they're going to stay up. And I think they tend to struggle playing football and really.
But they've got Maxi as well. That's a really good player. He might flourish again this season.
True. But again, is he going to make a difference though? He does a lot of step overs, but is he the final product? Is it there though? John Linton was isolated last season. Yeah. To be fair, so they've got Callum Wilson. I think it's a great signing, but again, he couldn't keep up Bournemouth in a struggling team. So I think Newcastle have always been borderline, kind of relegated or staying up. So I think West Ham as well. They've got to be careful.
Yeah, they narrowly made it out there.
But I think they always stay up though, don't they? Somehow they always stay up. Somehow, they always get the points they need.
Hodgson is quite good at. He knows what he's doing in that area, but. Still, they were lucky that they had acquired enough points in the lockdown.
Yeah.
Post-lockdown.
The form was horrible post-lockdown.
They were just getting beat 5 games in a row. I was like, where are you like the Premier League table again? But it was safe. I was like, wow, you are just 3 points away. But okay, cool. Yeah,
what for myself, winners, City. I feel like they'll just get it right this time. And I feel like Liverpool last season were very lucky and fortunate with injuries. I felt like key players. Like when one key player went out, the rest were still there, and it just all didn't happen at one time. I felt like at City, at one point they had 2 centre midfielders playing at centre half, so that hurt them quite a lot. So for me, I'll go City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United. And in no particular order, the Chelsea, United. I just feel like they will make the top 4. Okay. And relegation, Fulham will be 20th flat out. I'm going to make predictions on that one. Fulham 20th flat out. Aston Villa, they will just be on top of that. And then I feel like the likes of it's hard to say. It's a tough one. But I think I'll go with Brighton. I think Brighton as well. I think Brighton will join.
Okay, cool. Surprised by Brighton choice. I think right now Liverpool will win the league. I know that it's going to be tough, but they got the know-how now. They've been consistent for the last 2 seasons, and I feel like they have really set themselves a challenge. Klopp has a history of repeating his domestic success, and he actually went even better. I feel like maybe he could have missed the boat because the first season should have been the league when they won it, and the second season when they went even better. but obviously they won the Champions League and then
they won the league. Yeah.
But I feel like maybe they're driven by creating a legacy to win this league. Even if they win 2 leagues, it's a legacy. So yeah, I'm going to go with Liverpool. In terms of the rest of the top 4, it'll be Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, and that's not in no particular order with the last 2 teams. And then it's a fight out between. I'm going to go with Man United as a bias, and Chelsea could really. Because Chelsea's defence needs to be worked on. I don't know if Thiago Silva could really marshal them in his first season. So it's a big gamble.
Even goalkeeper as well.
And they've got a goalkeeper question mark. Caballero's good, but he's not.
They're signing a new one though.
Yeah, but is he good enough? I mean,
is that Mendy? Is it?
Yeah.
Mendy,
usually when they have a keeper coming in, Chelsea have a history of this. You hear a lot about pitch check before he comes in. Then because he was at Rennes, right? I think he did for 7 million, but you heard a lot about him. And they got this guy from Rennes as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then same with Courtois, and then this Kepa, there was a lot of talk about him, but then he was obviously a massive flop. This guy, I've heard nothing about him at all, so I don't know.
No, apparently he's the one who pretty much helped Rennes finish 3rd in the league.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't aware.
Goalkeeper.
So let's see, but untested.
I'm shocked with your Arsenal choice though.
Listen,
they weren't even anywhere close.
Yeah, but you know what? If you think about their performance leading up to the last couple of months, and if they can maintain that good form and into the Community Shield, with only 3 days rest, 3 days training. Sorry, I wouldn't be surprised. Like there's something about Arteta. He's obviously been a student of Pep Guardiola, but he has a little bit more defensive residue in how he coaches his teams.
Yeah.
Arsenal can defend well right now and transition in attack. And can be quite dangerous. And suddenly these Arsenal Man United games don't seem so certain. And so there is something about them. I just feel like their squad might be still a bit thin.
I think they'll.
You're literally.
Yeah, what do you do then?
You are useless, bro. Because Lacazette runs on confidence, and actually, quite clearly, he's the Plan B striker at the moment. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm gonna say confidently Liverpool, Manchester City, Man United, Arsenal, and to be relegated, probably because I don't know enough about them yet. Fulham, I know they got Mitrovic, but he's a great Championship striker. Don't know if he could do it in the Premier League again. Aston Villa, because they were pretty poor. Brighton surprised me. The thing about Brighton, with fans, they were pretty good. Without fans, we'll see how it goes. Who else is there? Brighton.
You got Villa in there as well.
Villa. I put Villa, so I put Villa, Fulham. Crystal Palace always nice to get out of here. I won't put Crystal Palace there. Newcastle, possibly.
West Brom.
I think West Brom will be alright. I think they'll be alright.
One more apart from West Brom for the bottom of the league.
West Ham.
They'll survive. West Ham
will just survive, yeah. Because they play in batches. You know what? Newcastle potentially, but let's see if Callum Wilson can drag him out. But he's already got a team relegated.
They need more creative players, man. Because look at John Linton last season; he just couldn't get anything.
I won't be surprised if Newcastle stay up, but I won't be surprised if they go down either.
Yeah.
I can see Brighton staying up. I can see Crystal Palace staying up. I can see West Ham staying up. So it's going to be Fulham, Aston Villa, I don't rate, and what was the thing I just said just now? Newcastle.
Interesting. So yeah.
But again, we'll touch this again mid-season and see if our predictions have changed. So that's what I was thinking.
After 5 games.
Yeah. Is that right? Okay, we know where this is going.